never felt like I had to be a good writer to be a good singer. So I that was my beginning. But I always said that in interviews because in college, somewhere way back in my brain, someone had told me that I wasn't a songwriter. I had given him a bunch of bad poetry from high school, and he's just said, "You're a good singer, but you're not really a writer."
Wow. How old were you?
I was 19.
Yeah.
You know,
and it stuck.
Yeah, and I let it be the truth. And you know, I'm sure he never gave it another thought. He wasn't. I don't have a vendetta against this poor guy. You know, I just think I let that be the truth about me. So I always justified why I didn't write. And I don't know really what happened in the last couple of years, but I found songs like Song Remembers When that became mine when I sang them. I never felt like I needed to write it to be able to live it and to sing it. So I don't have any regret over any song I ever recorded. It just feels like the time is now when this switch got flipped of like, that doesn't have to be the truth just because somebody said that. And once I started writing, I couldn't stop.
Tell me about like the beginning of that. I would love to hear you talk more about you coming out to the people, whoever the people are, the people that you have, and saying, I want to write. Will you write with me? Can we sit down? I've got an idea. I have a vision for this next album that's different than what I've ever done. How did that feel to say that for the first time? What were the very first early little baby steps you took, and how did those feel to you?
You know, I don't know if I would be sitting here if I had been the one that started the ball rolling, because because there are a lot of, there was a thing that happened a lot in the 90s, and for sure that, because when I was starting and I was having success, writers would come to me and say, just be in the room, or tell us what you want us to write and we'll put your name on it as a writer. And I never did that. I never wanted to do that. So I had this fear too that writers would think, oh, she's going to be in the room, but she doesn't really, if she could write, she hasn't done this for 30 years, So I was nervous about that. But my friend Leslie Satcher, who's a co-writer on a bunch of these songs, she was the one. She kept calling me and she's like, you're a songwriter, we need to write. My husband had been telling me I'm a songwriter, and I was just made it hard on myself. So when she got me in the room to actually write, and I did, and I was part of the equation, part of the conversation, an equal party in writing the song, I left there not only because I'd written something very personal to me about my mom, which is the last cut on the album called When October Settles In, but I'd also written a song, and I participated, and I felt like I belonged in the room.
Oh my gosh,
and I cried, and I'm not a crier, but it was like my head exploded, and I was like, oh my gosh. And now I think too, I could not have written a lot of these songs in my 20s. No way.
You didn't have a life experience.
No way. Right.
Of course.
So everything happens when it's supposed to.
I love to hear you say that so much, because I am guessing that a bunch of people listening are like, come on, man, you're Trisha Yearwood. Like, how could you be intimidated of a writer's room? You're an icon. You are a country music icon. So I think, number one, hearing you say that was still new territory for me at this stage of my career, something about that is comforting or liberating or both.
Yeah. I think the lesson is that we put ourselves in the box. We are really the ones who put ourselves in a lane and think we need to stay in it, or we do this to ourselves. And I never had anybody other than the poor guy in college that said I wasn't a writer discourage me from trying anything.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be weird, but like I hate him. It's fine. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work that out. I'm sure you are nice about it. You're like, I'm not even mad.
I've never seen his name on a songwriting credit, so I'm sure it worked out really well for him. But it's fine.
It's fine.
I let it go.
You know what? It's fine.
I totally let it go.
God, I'm sure he did better after that.